chosen ones. It feels weird using that new intro in this room because this is where Hi Everyone was born. If you've watched my channel for a while, you will probably know that this is my room at my mum's house, but I have now moved in with my gran. I moved in about a year ago. So finally my mum is taking over my room. Since it's obvious that it is now a permanent situation of me living with my gran, she's turning my bedroom slash library into her office. And unfortunately she doesn't want 3 bookcases of my books here, so we're doing some unhauling today. I have about 200 books to show you that I'm getting rid of. So I'm not gonna dwell on like why I'm getting rid of each of them. It is typically because I'm no longer interested. I've had them for years, I haven't read them. That is essentially it. Just if I don't give you a reason, because there are some that might have another reason, for the most part I just don't want them anymore. So as I say, there's about 200 of these, so we are going to fly through them. I would also advise sticking to the end because I will be telling you what is going to happen to most of these books, which I think is kind of exciting. It's like a little bit of an announcement, so that might be incentive for you to watch the whole video or to just skip ahead. First things first, I have 4 books I'm unhauling that I have already sent off to their new home because Hannah from Ladette M claimed them, which is Solitaire, Stags, Dogs and Vicious, which I've read all of those. But we're actually starting out strong. They've been like, I'm not going to tell you why I'm unhauling because it's just because I no longer like care to read them. I've read all of these, I just didn't love them enough to want to keep them, so that's why that happened. In a similar vein, Robbie from And His Nose Stuck in a Book has also had first dibs on these. I have a hefty stack to send to Robbie that's going to be a bitch in postage charges because it's mostly hardbacks. So we have Half Wild by Sally Green, which I'll also point out I'm getting rid of Half Bad as well, but he's already had that one, so he wants a sequel. Oh god, I didn't think about where I'm going to put them once I spoke about them. Oh fuck my life. Splintered by A.G. Howard, Given to the Sea by Mindy McGuinness, The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. This is an Owl Crate one that has a signed book plate. It's shocking Mackenzie Lee actually signed something of her own. Stalking Jack the Ripper. I do have a paperback somewhere but I can't find it. But when I do find it, I'll also be unhauling that. Maybe I don't have the paperback. Am I just like delusional? Possibly. Wires and Nerve by Marissa Meyer, which, oh, it's one of those. The Iron Trial by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. This is a signed one. I got this when I worked at Waterstones. I like won their advent calendar thing and I was like, do you know what? I have not liked either. Well, I did like The Mortal Instruments, but I don't care for fairies and I'm over Cassandra Clare, so it's going to a better home. And he is getting my White Owl Crate exclusive. Oh, it's pretty. My White Owl Crate exclusive of A Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I lied at the beginning of this, like, oh, there's no rhyme or reason. Like, okay, for the most of them is no rhyme or reason. There's no genre, there's no whatever, but this next pile is all arcs that I am getting rid of. I'm either going to be using them for crafts or I'm gonna see if people want to like trade them, whatever. Anyway, I have The Best of Adam Sharp by Graham Simison, The Novice by Tam Matharu, Gullstruck Island by Frances Harding, Frostblood by Ellie Blake, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, Anna and the Swallow Man by Gabrielle Savitt, Running on the Cracks by Julia Donaldson, Wing Jones by Catherine Weber, This Raging Light by Estelle Laure, Hidden Bodies by Caroline Kepnes, A Thousand Perfect Notes by C.G. Drews, Pure by Juliana Baggett, Hollow Pike by Juno Dawson under their original name, their dead name. I Stop Somewhere by T.E. Carter, The Girl Who Saved Christmas by Matt Haig, getting rid of this because we don't like Matt Haig, Stealing Phoenix by Joss Sterling, and this one I'm tentative about. Like, I'm basically just unhauling it from my TBR, but I might still keep it, and that is On Starlit Seas by Sarah Sheridan. So as I say, in that pile, only really Daisy Jones and the Six is like worth anything for like trades. The rest are just kind of there. Like, I'll put them on Books for Trade tag on Twitter just in case one of these happens to be someone's favourite book and they would like to own an arc, but yeah. And now we just kind of move on to everything else. I think I semi-organised these into like what I've read and what I haven't, but I'm pretty sure there's some that are mixed in, so yeah. Anyway, at least I know this pile here are books that I've read and I'm no longer interested in keeping. All the Right Places by Jennifer Niven, The Dead House by Dawn Kurtagich, Life on the Refrigerator Door by Alice Kuipers, Sweet Freak by Sophie Mackenzie, A Shiver of Snow and Sky by Lisa Ledecky, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This is one that I would rather pass on to other people. Obviously it's an incredibly important book, and I think it makes more sense for me to give it on to somebody who could use that education than just keep it for myself. So Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendara Blake, Looking for Alaska by John Green, The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson, Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Yes, I really liked this book. I also really liked History's All You Left Me, but I'm being really ruthless and I just want books that I'm utterly obsessed with, so passing on. One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus, The Big Lie by Julie Mayhew, and Beautiful Broken Things by Sarah Bernard. As I say, there's definitely more books here that I've read. I gave up organizing, so now we're just at a mix of everything. Hello, Goodbye and Everything in Between by Jennifer E. Smith, A Good Hiding by Shirley Ann McMillan, Isle of the Lost by Melissa de la Cruz, The Manifesto on How to Be Interesting by Holly Bourne, Damage by Eve Ainsworth, Close Your Eyes by Nikki Cloak, The Hawkweed Prophecy by Irina Brignall. This kills me because it is a stunning book, but I don't see me reading it. Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson, Saying Anything by Sarah Desson, The Humans by Matt Haig, Feminine Gospels by Carol Ann Duffy. Again, one that I might keep just for future library because it's so small, but I have no interest. And Mirror Mirror by Cara, that's really hard, Mirror by Cara Delevingne. I have a signed hardback, so I don't need the paperback. Margot and Me by Juno Dawson, Shell by Paula Rossthorne, Gone by Michael Grant, Blackbird by N.D. Gnomes, another one that I'm obsessed with the cover, but I didn't love it, so I don't need it. Stella by Helen Eve. This is one I'm still tempted to keep, and I think it was it Connor Stompanato, I think, read this, so we didn't have to, and I'm curious. Elixir by Hilary Duff, The Art of Not Breathing by Sarah Alexander, The Snow Child by Owen Ivy, Not the Only Sky by Alyssa Warren, Milkman by Anna Burns. I own this because my mum bought me it for Christmas one year, and she said she hunted for this because apparently we'd be in Waterstones together and I pointed to a book that looked like this and said I really wanted it, and she thought it was the Man Booker Prize winner Milkman, which it definitely wasn't, so I'm never gonna read it. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I tried to read the first page and hated it, and I'm just gonna watch the film. I'm curious to know what happens, but not enough to try and read it. The Tiger's Daughter by Kate Arsenault Rivera. We have Odd One Out by Nick Stone, Our Chemical Hearts by Crystal Sutherland, Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, Lost Boy by Christina Henry. I think this might be another pile of, at least there's a good few books in here that I've read and just don't want to keep. Infinity Sun by Adam Silvera, Something in Between by Melissa de la Cruz, starring Sally J. Friedman as herself by Judy Bloom. I do want to keep this, but I particularly like this. There's certain editions that they have now of these, and I would rather have the matching cover. So The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I am contemplating keeping this because I did really like it. I'm just trying to be ruthless. Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin, Will Grayson, and Hold Me Closer by John Green and David Levithan, All My Secrets by Sophie Mackenzie, The Witch's Kiss by Catherine and Elizabeth Carr, Entangled by Kat Clark, The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, Split Second by Sophie Mackenzie. This ain't mine. Cool. The Way of Murray by Ilya Boyashov. I want to read this, but it's got a really small font and it hurts my eyes, so I'm gonna look into an audiobook or ebook. Eleanor Oliphant Is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. You're Gonna Hate Me. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yes, I liked it, but I hate it so much because I hated Daisy Jones and the Six, and I hate the fact that I like this one, but I didn't like it enough to want to keep it. The Lost Girls of Camp Forevermore by Kim Fu, The Intruders by E.E. Richardson, Between the Lines by Jodie Picoult and Samantha Van Leer, Every Day and Another Day by David Levithan. I feel like Ashley's gonna hate me because I'm getting rid of David Levithan's. The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn, because I've heard A.J. Finn's just not it, and I own way too many adult thrillers when I'm not that massively interested, so I'm just, nah. Okay, now the hard part, moving on to the bookcase. So I'm really sorry we're gonna have this like weird angle going, but it just makes my life easier. I have a few mangas which I'll show you first. Alice in the Country of Hearts, which is by Quinn Rose and the art is by Sumi Hoshino. She and Her Cat, story by Makoto Shinkai and art by Tsubasi Yamaguchi. And volumes 1 to 3 of The Dreaming by Queenie Chan. I actually really liked these and I don't know if there's a fourth one, but I'm never gonna reread them, so. Oh, and that's one of those weird mangas where like it's more a graphic novel because they put it like the English way, and I was very confused because I wanted to read it the Japanese way. Wind Dimple Met Rishi by Sanja Menon. The A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab. Magonia and Airy by Maria Devana Headley. Found a business card. I'm just going at any random order, not even sorry. Blackbird and Deadfall by Anna Carey. Deadly Cool and Social Suicide by Gemma Halliday. Codename Verity and Rose Under Fire by Elizabeth Vine. I have 2 different editions of these at my grand's house, and while I do like these covers, they're a little tattier, and I just decided because they were here it was easier to unhaul them from here than at my grand's house. Like, I don't know, made sense to me. Blood Ransom and Blood Ties by Sophie Mackenzie. Yes, there's a lot of Sophie Mackenzie on this list. I started to buy like all her books. Like, somebody must have had her entire collection and put them to charity shops. And I bought all of them and I've barely read any of her work. But I'm not interested. Divergent, Insurgent and Allegiant by Veronica Roth. I'm never gonna read it. I'm never gonna do it. If I was gonna do it, it would be for like a reading vlog of reading the like hyped booktube books, and I don't give a shit. Also, yes, I'm wearing a Harry Potter shirt because I'm dealing with trash today. That sounds really mean because like half these books aren't trash, I just don't want them anymore. I have The Jewel, The White Rose and The Black Key by Amy Ewing. Another series I'm contemplating giving a shot because it's dystopian, but like, am I really gonna do it if I haven't read it already? Probably not, so just get rid of them, Emma. More Sophie Mackenzie. Casting Shadows, Falling Fast, Burning Bright and Defy the Stars. Contemporary series. Never, like, there's one contemporary series I can think of that I have read and absolutely loved, and that's Dimily, and I think that's going to be the only one I ever read and love, so we're just bye. I have Burn for Burn and Fire with Fire by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. Maestra and Domina by L.S. Hilton. Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. And also Lola and the Boy Next Door and Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. Next is the Beautiful Dead series. We have Jonas, Arizona, Summer and Phoenix by Eden McGuire. Finding Sky, Stealing Phoenix and Seeking Crystal by Joss Sterling. The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy by Jenny Han. My voice is going. I have Ingo by Helen Dunmore, which is signed. The Dead Don't Hurt Us by P.F. Cairns. Dead Boy Talking by Linda Strachan. Carry On by Rainbow Revel. This is a colour edition. Pretty much all these books here are signed. Outside by Sarah Ann Jux. I'm only getting rid of this one. It's signed. I bought it at Yalk and the like mindset that I was gonna go to her signing, and then I bought it and it was already signed. I was like, well, I'm not standing in the queue just to have her write Emma. And then I won a Twitter competition where she sent me a personalised signed copy, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. Also, just announced today was her new book that's coming out that has chronic illness reps, so fucking buzzing. Vendetta by Catherine Doyle, which I've just realised is the author of a middle grade series I've been reading. And I quite liked her writing, so now I'm tempted to keep it, especially because it's signed, but it's vampires. I don't need vampires in my life. Perilous Path, A Writer's Journey by S.C. Skillman. This is also signed. I think I won this on a Goodreads giveaway back when they let British people or anyone not American enter. And Just in Case by Meg Rosoff. I have Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. The Pomegranate Tree by Vanessa Alton. The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. F in Exams by Richard Benson. The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas by John Boyne. The Earth Hums in B Flat by Mary Strachan. I own another copy of this. I don't know how I ended up with 2. This happens a lot. And The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Fallen, Torment, Rapture and Passion by Lauren Kate. This was a series I loved when I was like 14 and had like not been reading, but like picked this up on a whim at a fucking supermarket. And I kept saying I was going to reread it because like childhood fave. It's never going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Saenz. Running Out of Air by Katie Swift. well, KT Swift. How to Be a Woman by Caitlin Moran, or Caitlin Moran. I hear two different ways of saying it. I think it's Caitlin, like it's spelt like Caitlin, but The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I own 2 copies of this and I love this edition, but I have like 2 more books in the series in the other edition and it just made sense to keep them matching, so I should really read it before I get rid of this, and that way if I love it I can then start I don't need a collection, no. The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. This is a chunky bind up with small writing. If I want to read the Narnia books, I would rather have small individual ones. Do I really want to read... no. Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. I think I own 2 copies of this as well. So Dune by Corey Corr and Laurie Langdon. I Am Number 4 by Pittacus Lore. Matched by Ali Condé. Oh, I kind of want to keep it though. And Hunting Prince Dracula by Kerry Maniscalco. Didn't like Stalking Jack the Ripper. Someone gifted this to me like 2 years ago with no gift note. I have no idea who it was, and I'm really sorry that you spent your money on gifting me a book that I'm now getting rid of without reading. But I wanted to, and then I don't know who sent it to me, and quite frankly, if it's going to be as romantic as the other one, it ain't for me anymore. The Return of the Young Prince by A.G. Romers. I didn't love The Little Prince, and while I do want to reread it because I think I will enjoy it now I'm in a better mindset, I don't want like a fake sequel. So she says when one of her favourite, not favourite books, but a book she really liked is a fake sequel. Like, you know when a classic has a sequel written by someone else, it doesn't matter. How to Build a Girl by Caitlin Moran. Hatchet by Gary Paulson. Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I have an audiobook of this, or maybe it's Everything I Never Told You. I don't know, but I do better with like adult fiction on audiobook, so. The Executioner's Daughter by Jane Hardstaff. Under the Dome by Stephen King. Skellig by David Almond. The Vagina Monologues by Eve Ensler. I'm curious about this, but I think this is something that would maybe be better. It would maybe be better performed. So yeah. Twisted by Laurie Halse Anderson. Tunnels by Roderick Gordon and Brian Williams. The Vincent Boys by Abby Glines, because in what world does Emmanovella read this kind of book? Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, again audiobook for me. The Great Automatic Grammatizer and Other Stories by Roald Dahl. Ultraviolet by R.J. Anderson. After by Anna Todd. See The Vincent Boys. I will never read this sort of thing. The Truth About Celia Frost by Paula Rawsthorne. My Name is Memory by Anne Brashares. Girl of Nightmares by Kendar Blake, which I should really put that together with the first book. Anyway. Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Darkmere by Helen Maslin. 11 by Tom Rogers. Before I Die by Jenny Downham. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I Am David by Anne Holm. Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. Okay, and the final stack of books are in this box. They're hardbacks, and I think a lot of them are like signed and whatnot, so. Remembrance by Teresa Breslin. The Novice by Tram Matharu. 20 Boy Summer by Sarah Ockler. Alex and Eliza by Melissa De La Cruz. P.S. I Like You by Casey West. The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. Olivia Twist by Laurie Langdon. The Conjurer by John and Carol Barrowman. I wanted to read this, but then I found out you kind of needed to read their middle grades like series, and it's too much effort. Although, is it sci-fi? Don't need it, Emma. You don't need it. From Twinkle with Love by Sanja Menon. Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. Roseblood by A.G. Howard. I have a paperback copy, and while this does have a signed book plate because this was from Owl Crate, I just decided to go with paperback. Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Colthurst. All the Ever Afters by Danielle Taylor. And Fierce Fairy Tales by Nikita Gill. Kerry gifted me this for Christmas a couple years ago, and then I think it was Robbie gifted me it this last Christmas because I forgot I owned it, so I have 2 copies, so I don't need 2. So, and that's it. That's the books that I'm getting rid of. Obviously I still own a shitload of books. Like, I haven't been the most ruthless as I could have been, but there's definitely some books in there that I'm like, oh, I should keep that, but they're going to a good cause. So obviously I gave some friends first dibs on like if they wanted any, but I do feel kind of excited about the fact that like I'm getting rid of these books. One, because it means they're not on my TBR, but they're also going towards one of these. So this is like a prototype. This is a box. So my mum and I somewhat have started a business called Twice Read Tales. I did the logo. I'm very pleased with myself. So this is, it's not a subscription box, it's like a one-off box. You can order as many as you want, and inside is a second-hand book, obviously in at least decent condition, and a bunch of goodies. So this, as I say, is like a prototype box, which does actually contain one of the books that I'm also unhauling. So you open it up, there's tissue paper. Obviously we don't have everything yet, like we don't have like the shredded paper, all the packaging and stuff, but inside there is a hot chocolate sachet, there is a Yorkshire tea bag, as well as a pucka. There's a variety of flavours. This one happens to have elderberry and echinacea. I had to pick the one that I can't read. There are some little Love Heart wax melts, some sweets. These are Sip Sip Hooray sparkling wine gummies, a face mask, a skincare face mask, not a COVID face mask, a Twix, and then we have the book, which is wrapped. Oh my god, half the ones she had wrapped in tissue paper, but this one's in paper, which I like. I'm not going to unwrap this one. I was going to, but this is a, spoiler alert, this is a young adult fantasy. She's written love. It's Lorelei by Laura Dockrell, because I got one in my first A Box of Stories box, so I didn't need this copy, so it's now in this box. So I will link it below. If you're interested, I will work out some sort of discount code for my viewers so that you can try one of these boxes. We're only going to be shipping to the UK at the minute, just because shipping prices have gone through the roof because of Brexit, as well as fuck knows what else. So at the minute it is going to be UK only. Bearing in mind as well, these are secondhand books and we're kind of limited to all of these books. So spoiler alert, you're probably going to get one of the books you just saw in the video. Well, actually no, because my mum does have some of her own books that she's put in. But while you can like specify if you would rather have like YA or adult, etc., we're not doing like tailored recommendation type things. If you would like a book box where you receive a mystery book or a book tailored to you, I will highly recommend going to Waypoint Books. That is Hannah from Ladette M. She has two book like subscriptions. There is the Half Moon and the Full Moon box. The Half Moon box, Hannah, you like fill in a form. Hannah will give you like 3 recommendations every month. You pick one, she sends you it. The Full Moon box, you get that plus a complete mystery book that I'm assuming she also picks from like what you've told her you like. I would highly recommend that if that's the sort of book box you are looking for and want to continue shopping small. If you want to shop big, Willoughby Book Club even are amazing. They do like the tailored recommendations for one book every month. But yeah, so that's just like a little plug of this like new businessy venture. It's mostly my mum's brainchild. Probably gonna be me that does a shitload of it, so don't all rush to buy because stress. That's half reverse psychology, where I'm like, if I tell them not to do it, they'll all do it, but equally like, take your time. And also let me know the sort of things you would like to see in these boxes, because I'm probably going to do like art cards. I'll probably make some bookmarks, but let me know if you want, I don't know, like if we should try and make it more, I don't want to make it more like bookish like stuff. Like I kind of want every box to be like slightly different, so we don't want to like necessarily go and pay a company to make us like 50 of the exact same thing. But if it is something people would be interested in, let me know. Just let me know. Like, I don't want to make it an Emmanovella box. Like, I'm not imagine that, like me just being like, here's Emmanovella merch. Like, no, that ain't happening. But you know, let me know if there's things you'd like to see. I'm going everywhere. Let me know if there's any of these books you're surprised I'm unhauling, you think I would love. Let me know if there's ones that you can't believe I even owned in the first place, and please let me know if you're excited by Twice Read Tales Co. and what you would like to see in the boxes, and I'll see you in my next video. So bye.